Hey guys, it's Criminal. And I'm sorry, I've been a little out of it. I had my birthday, and I've been trying to record this one for a while. It's the Halloween special. And you'll see why it's the Halloween special. If you guys don't remember, I did a Scarecrow What If. What if deku was Scarecrow? And, well, I'm redoing that. This is going to be one shot. So it's not going to be the full series. It's going to only be one big arc. And that is the hiring of a new teacher in UA. So everybody's roughly 16, 15 years old. And the Izumi Midoriya is a world-renowned singer. And nobody knows who she actually is. She's just called the samurai when she's on stage. And when she's off stage, she either wears an Oni mask to fit into the crowd, or she doesn't wear a mask at all, which she's locked in a room, an airtight room to be exact, that no one can talk to her through unless it's through a PA system. Because like you see in the picture, any time she breathes out, she breathes a noxious gas. Fear toxin. Gas form. She breathes it 24/7, 7 days a week, 4 weeks of a year, all 12 months of the year. So yeah. So she kind of can't take off masks when she's out in public, unless she's doing hero work, or she's volunteering at a haunted house. And depending on how big the area is, and how good the airflow is, depends on how severe the fear toxin is. If it's just a quick whiff, and someone sees something scary, they're going to be like, oh god! It's 2 times worse than it actually is. So they can close the haunted house, and it builds up after a while. It obviously gets diluted when people open and close the doors. So they see the bloody messes that are everywhere. It's fake blood, but it actually looks real to them. They see the chainsaw that it isn't moving, but it looks like it's floating there. They just see everything like it's not supposed to be, but they see it like that. So the fake pale person looks actually pale, and the fake vampire teeth that look glued on when no one's breathing in the fear toxin looks real, so it looks like a real vampire. So Aizawa and his wife, yes, his wife, are going through a theme park to relive their childhood, because they used to go to theme parks on Halloween. And yes, this is the premiere on Halloween, so I will be in the chat. This is going to be premiering at 7:09 at night for my time. At my time, this is going to be premiering at 6 hours and 69 minutes afternoon. I know, I do too much math. I need to stop doing math. But hopefully you guys like that little tidbit of information. So we go to midnight. And a villain needs to take refuge somewhere, and he's heard that the haunted house is actually haunted. So he's like, okay, maybe I could take a refuge in there, because no one wants to enter. So he walks in, and he doesn't look villainous. By the way, it's overhaul. He's about to get a face full of fear toxin. So, he normally never takes off his mask. So he puts it in his pocket, thinking, oh, there's nothing in the air. Yeah, he's dumb. He's dumb in this one. One whiff of fear toxin, and he's already breaking out in hives. This severe reaction to his mental state. That's what the bumps on his skin were, basically hives. If you guys don't know what hives are, go look it up on the internet. It's a skin condition. So yeah, he starts breaking out and freaking out for no reason. He thinks it's clean air. And then he starts seeing all these things. So he starts screaming like a little girl. And she's currently sitting in the, basically, air conditioning unit area where she just has her mask slightly open. So she still has her normal singing voice, which is a really deep, raspy voice. And in a sec, I may be able to do that for you. In a sec. So, he gets maybe 50% through it. Then he starts seeing the people, the monsters, and the tools that are flying at him without actually moving, because it's getting thicker and thicker. The further you go in, the thicker it gets. And once you get to the end area, it's a complete airlock. Kind of, sort of. It basically gets rid of all the fear toxin around you, so it acts like helium. So it gets out of your lungs fast. And she's currently sitting with her girlfriend in the AC unit, because her girlfriend is blind. That's very important. Blind people don't get affected by her fear toxin. They must be in the lungs of the people, and they must be looking through a haze, like a heat haze, that, or the thin layer of fog sometimes in the morning and winters. That thin layer of fog, they must be looking through something like that. And that's when they start seeing these things. It's not big, it's not flashy, but it does change their surroundings. And she can't see. So she just hangs out with her at all times. Unless she's getting ready for a concert, which then she stays at home. And her quirk is all sight. And it allows her to use her sense of touch to see whatever is around her. So Izumi's quirk allows her to make a haze around her of this toxin. So when she releases her toxin or takes off her mask, it starts flooding her room, because it built up. But when she's with her girlfriend can see clearly, clear as day, because she can touch the toxin. Even air, if it's thick enough or if it's pure enough, she can start seeing through air. But since it's a dilution of most chemicals that people either literally fart or use their car to make exhaust, that's what air is, basically. Fart and exhaust. If people stopped using cars and literally stopped breathing out air, she'd be able to see through air. She can't see colors. She can't see anything like that. Any colors or difference in pigmentation, but she can see like the really minute kind of things whenever she's touching air or an object, like a house. She could see the outside of the house if she's touching the outside of the house. The inside, she could see the inside. It's like a really limited Byakugan. So that's their quirks out of the way. Now, She sees that he's now passed out in the very last bit of the haunted house where the fear toxin or fear gas is the densest. So she goes, "Oh crap, I need to move him out." And because she knows that if people start breathing in the fear gas for too long, they're completely changed by the fear gas. They constantly have the effect of fear gas until they claw their own eyes out, which is also another side effect. I'm making her have a very violent quirk without actually making her violent. So, Aizawa and Midnight walk into the haunted house. They saw a suspicious person walk in there, so they're like, we wanted to go through there anyway. Let's follow him. So they followed Overhaul, and when he collapsed, they were about to run forward when a door opened, which sucked all the gas out of the room very, very quickly. And this was a door on the floor which had a grate on top of it that allowed all the heavy fear gas to just go straight down really quickly. And the ceiling opened up, and a red light started flashing around it, shutting the entire attraction down for a little bit. And then they see a door open to a very well-lit room, and this well-lit room had two people in it. One just sitting there, and then another walking out calmly, shutting a flipper on her mask, walking to the person, grabbing him, and walking back into the room. Aizawa runs up, shows his hero ID, and asks if he could help. And Midnight runs up, shows her hero ID, and they aren't well known, but they're well known to her because Izumi wanted to be a underground hero instead of a number one hero, so Izumi knows them. And she goes, yeah. And she feels around and grabs the mask. She goes, yeah, he took this off right when he walked in. And she put it on his face, strapped it around his ears, and then took out some zip ties and zip tied his arm from shut. And they go, that's kidnapping. She goes, no, it's not. And she goes, and they both go, wait, you're Scarecrow? She goes, yeah. Oh, crap. She takes out the felt bag and puts it over her head. And she goes, there you go. And they go, oh. Wait, what? And she goes, because her mask, she opened it completely and then shut it to breathe out all the heavy fear gas. And so now she's talking like a normal girl for a few seconds. She starts breathing in deep and heavy, and then she starts talking in a very deep, raspy voice. She starts talking like this. That's not very good. I may be able to do a better one later when I'm actually trying to be loud. I'm not trying to be loud right now because my mother's asleep. But yeah. So she starts talking in a really deep, raspy voice, and she goes, "Don't worry. I know how to manage my quirk. I've been doing it for what is it now?" And the girl behind her says, been your entire life? And she goes, yeah. Kind of made the doctors scared out of their minds when they were taking care of me. My mother committed suicide because she had too much fear toxin. She clawed her own eyes out and then kind of bled to death. So yeah, that's my life. And like, quick question. Are you also the masked singer? And she goes, maybe. And they go, do you know this song? And Midnight starts singing it, a very feminine, high-pitched voice. She goes, stop, 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 stop. First off, that song was made for men to sing. And second off, that song is supposed to be sung in a deep voice to sound good. And Aizawa goes, first off, no song is made for men to sing. And second off, I agree with the raspy voice. And she goes, yeah. So Aizawa and her start chatting. At midnight, walks over to the blind person and goes, what is your name? And she goes, oh, my name? Hold on, one sec. Okay. I can do the voice now. I can do it. She talks like this. Yeah. It's really strange. So, when she introduces her little girlfriend, she calls her Gaia. Because her girlfriend has the ability to see through the earth. So, she just walks around with her bare feet. Anything that is on the ground or connected to the ground, she sees. She can't see drones, but she can hear them. So when she's in the wilderness, she can see perfectly. Like through trees, in the air. Then once it starts getting with more smog and pollution into the air, that's when she can't see as well. Because the air purity is much higher in the woods. And that's why she's called Gaia, because she normally patrols the woods. So, Aizawa goes, from what I remember, you are a capture hero and you are a rescue hero. And they both go, other way around. And he goes, rescue, capture, what? And Izumi says, well, I'm rescue because I drive the kidnappers insane. And she's capture because she can see the kidnappers or people through walls. And Gaia says, no, I can't see, remember? She goes, true, that's why you're immune to my quirk. And Aizawa goes, wait, what? And she goes, well, yeah, if you don't have a lung full of my fear toxin and you can't see, you're immune. And he goes, oh. So as long as they can't see, she goes, even with eyes shut, they still feel the effects of my fear toxin. They physically do not have the ability to see. That's when they don't go crazy from it. He goes, oh, so it's even more complex than I thought. And she goes, yeah. Well, my shift's almost over at the Looney House here. And he goes, what? This is a haunted house. And she goes, yeah. Did you not see the name? Looney House. And he goes, what? And Midnight just busts out laughing, being like, yeah, it's called Looney House. And he goes, damn. Well, I'd like to schedule you guys for a little training trip. And they both go, sure. At the exact same time. And Izumi, the one who could see, grabs the walking stick that you normally see blind people with. They have a stick and they start swinging it around them to make sure that they're not running into anything. Because if they have a dog, it go cuckoo from the fear gas. So, at this point, Izumi is just bored out of her mind singing and just not talking to people normally. Because she either has to wear a mask or, yeah, she just has to wear a mask. So, We go to the forest training arc. Mina, Jiro, and Ochaku. Uraraka. Uraraka is a money grubber. Mina, she likes her tea. And Jiro is actually a fangirl of Samurai. So, Aizawa, he walks into the place, says, training trip after your semi-final, after final exams, we're doing a training trip for extra studying for the people who need it, and for quirk training. And they all go, okay, any recreational activities we're going to have? And he goes, oh, yeah. You're going to have a band. And they all go, what? And he goes, yeah, I got to deal with Samurai. And Samurai is a legitimate band. And if you guys don't know, Samurai is also the name of the band that Johnny Silverhand was part of in Cyberpunk 2077. Jiro just faints. Mina goes, oh god, I feel a butt coming on. And he goes, but you gotta get through the haunted house first. And they all go, what? And he goes, yeah. The lead singer, Samurai, is actually gonna sing with her normal voice. And Mina goes, wait, what? It's a her? Jiro's currently passed out right now. And he goes, oh crap, I should have left that out. And Midnight walks in going, yeah, final exams are tomorrow, by the way. Everybody looks at the clock, it's midnight, and they go, oh crap. So they all run to bed. They all try to go to sleep as quick as possible. At the forest training arc, everybody who doesn't have the grades, as everybody in canon has the same grade, and no Izuku. So yeah, Bakugo's there. Bakugo does remember having a friend that was a little older than him, because he's 16 right now. She's 18, 19. She graduated early from hero school because she was that good. And her quirk was that versatile. And she also was just damn good at what she does. So they all get to the forest. Well, the cliff. And the wild pussycats dropping down the cliff. And they also say, shouldn't we have also told them that another quirk was being used besides just hers? And Aizawa goes, nah. And Jiro finally wakes up from being fainted. She's been fainted the entire time. The entire bus ride. And she goes, what do you mean another quirk? And he goes, oh crap. Jiro. And he grabs her by the back of the shirt and he goes, have fun. And drops her down the cliff with everybody else. Mina catches Jiro. That is Mina's ship. And Jiro looks at Mina. Mina's a cute little adorable alien. Not with that much fear toxin. She immediately screams in horror. And for some reason, Mina isn't affected. But everybody else is. They scream at Mina in horror, and she goes, what? And someone walks out from behind Mina and goes, apparently they're scared of you. I don't know why. You look cute and from what I can see, but meh. I can't see color. And Mina turns around and sees Gaia. The blind hero the blind capture hero. And she goes, oh my god. She starts fangirling over Gaia. So Gaia says, by the way, camp's that way. And everybody just sees this big monster show up behind Gaia. So they just started running towards camp. She goes, hey! Everybody followed my instructions. And then Mina looks behind and goes, no, they're scared of that. And Gaia turns around and goes, God dang it, Izumi. You had one job, and that was leave the scaring to me. And Izumi walks out from behind a robot for rescue. It was a rescue robot. And she goes, yeah, but it was just so tempting. It's little kids. And also one of them, he was a real jerk when he was getting his quirk. I know that from experience. And she looks at Mina and she goes, yes, I'm Samurai. And she just starts walking towards the training camp. And the further they go towards the camp, the less toxin is in the air, so the less it affects them. But it still affects them severely because they had a giant dose in the beginning. So Aizawa's there, and he goes, okay, when are we going to tell them when they get here? And Gaia shows up immediately after and goes, my quirk isn't just the power to see everything, it's also the power to calculate everything I see. So I currently can see everything in the forest. So they'll be here in 30-ish minutes. And then Izumi walks out and goes, I want a nap. Is that airlock still available? And the guy goes, yeah, it's available. And she goes, good, I'm going. And walks straight into the camp house. And she puts on a mask so she doesn't fumigate it. So she walks in, she goes to the airlock, lays down, and immediately goes to sleep after taking her mask off. The airlock seals and starts pumping out fear gas into the wilderness where it does no harm. Except for the little critters that have been thoroughly affected by it and now are scared of their life from everything. Oh, little squirrels. So the squirrels. No, not the squirrels. So we go to maybe 20 out of 30 minutes later, and the first person shows up. That would be Mina. Go chickies. My cat Jack just walked out of the door that I'm sitting right next to. Mina shows up and goes, yeah, if I was affected by that fear toxin, I wouldn't be here as soon as I am. And she goes, oh, by the way, that was the highest density fear area was the beginning. So that's why you look like a monster instead of a cute little adorable alien. She goes, oh, thank you. So Jiro gets there second because Jiro just bolted. She didn't care about anything there because she has no offensive capabilities except for her earphone jacks, which still don't do very much damage. She just bolted and she just kept bobbing and weaving. She got lost and she got redirected by random flickers of fear. And she finally got there, maybe 5 minutes after Mina. So everybody gets there at least 10 minutes later. At most 30. The guy goes, I was wrong. there's still one out there. And Aizawa goes, short? She goes, yeah. Balls for hair? And she goes, yeah. He goes, you can leave him. She goes, okay. I'll keep an eye on him, though. And he goes, thank you, but you don't need to. Especially tonight. You're definitely not going to want to keep an eye on him. And she goes, oh, I've already seen his reaction. And he goes, you can see that far in a clear day. And she goes, yeah, the fear toxin is currently being blown around, so it's diluted severely. So yeah. Everybody's gone in and having dinner. At the very end of the night, everybody's in the bath. The teachers are in their respective bathing house or bathhouse area. All the female teachers, and then there's Aizawa and Tiger, who are in the guys' area with them stalking. So Izumi has used her massive fortune to find a way to counteract her quirk completely, like an antidote. And she goes, there is an antidote, or she did find an antidote, but it costs her the ability to breathe. Because they need to constantly be harvesting and subjecting someone to fear toxin in their blood instead of through their lungs. So, yeah. So she doesn't like that plan. So she's forcing them to wear a gas mask because she doesn't want to wear her gas mask while she's in the bathhouse. And Izumi gets signed by her girlfriend to fumigate the wall to the guys' bathing area. And so she does. Kota, the kid from the forest arc, was told to stay in the airlock at all times unless someone walks into the airlock and starts sleeping in there. So that means leave as soon as possible. So he's currently in the airlock, safe from the fear gas. And currently there's someone crawling up the wall with his quirk to look at the teachers. The well-defined, well-matured teachers. And all of a sudden, he gets a hand which has an Oni mask imprinted on it put in front of him, which he sees as a demon, and only he is being affected by the fear toxin currently. Yeah, sorry about the volume of me. I don't have my normal headphones in. So yeah. So he's getting completely blasted by fear toxin, and he falls down screaming, completely pissing himself of fear. And all the guys just bust out laughing, including Aizawa. Tiger doesn't do anything because he knew this was coming. So we skip 2 days. Everybody's getting along. And Jiro's wondering when the concert's going to be because she finally woke up. And Aizawa goes, today. Once you get through the funhouse. And they all look at a structure being built right next to it. And it's almost done. It's almost complete. And he goes, there's a special room in the attic that if you guys can get to, and it's a 3-story house, so the attic is the top story. It is a massive house. If you guys can get to it, which has the most fear toxin, and he explains what fear toxin is and how it works, and Mina goes, but I can see perfectly fine. He goes, well, you're a once in a lifetime case. And she goes, makes sense. So everybody's jealous of Mina because she wasn't affected in the forest. So we skip till later. It looks like a normal haunted house. Jiro and everybody was put through it before the fear toxin started being pumped out. And then they were taken to the beginning, and he goes, okay. And he clicks a button. And he goes, wait till this timer goes off, and once it does, you can start going through. He clicked the button for the timer, and the timer also opened up the airlock that was keeping the fear toxin building up. He had someone stationed in there since the beginning of the day. Izumi was in there since the beginning of the day, just constantly breathing. And she was in there with Gaia. So Gaia can now see through the entire house with perfect detail. And so he releases the kids in and goes, okay, we're putting on our gas masks and walking in. So he puts on his his cat gas mask. The rest puts on their cat gas masks and walk in. And Mina sees them wear a gas mask and he goes, oh. So that's one way to get around it. And then she remembers that her mutation quirk, she can shoot acid out of her nose. Yes, I'm making that a thing. And her nose has gotten a good filter through it, so acid doesn't go back through when she's breathing. So that's why. So she catches up to Aizawa and explains what her quirk did to her. And he goes, so you have a self-built-in gas mask. And she goes, apparently? He goes, damn you and the new generation. So Mina and everybody else get up there and they see a full-blown Oni person or samurai. They see a full-blown demon and the fog is just barreling out from her gas mask. Just barreling constantly. And this room is completely saturated with it. And they have oxygen tanks close to the door so everybody can put some gas masks on after filling it with oxygen. Because the room is still saturated with oxygen, but it's also saturated with the fear toxin. So Mina's told just for safety to put on a gas mask and fill it with oxygen. So she does so. And so she starts talking with Izumi. And Izumi has been talking in her normal high-pitched girly voice. But now she's talking in her deep, low samurai voice. Which I did it earlier. I'm not going to do it again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little tidbit into my vocal cords. And she recognizes the voice from Jiro's CDs. And she goes, Jiro's going to faint after this. So everybody gets there. Aizawa had to manhandle Bakugo to put on a gas mask because he was freaking out that bad. Yes, they all look like demon masks. Just so you know. And their vision cleared up really quickly. Then they saw Samurai and Jiro started screaming like a fangirl. And then Guy goes, shut her up or I will. And Aizawa goes, gladly, and walks right behind Jiro and presses down on her vocal cords to where she can't talk, but doesn't cut off her air supply or her blood supply to the brain so it doesn't knock her out. And then leaves the sticker there. It's a special sticker made from a quirk that negates vocal cord vibrations. So she's still screaming, but no one can hear it. She was about to take it off when Aizawa clicked the button and it zapped her for a second. And he looked at her and shook his head no. And so she introduces herself and says, I'll be your new search and rescue teacher. And they all look at each other and go, wait, what? What? And the Wild Wild Pussycats go, yeah, she's better than us. And they all look at them and go, wait. I don't understand. What? How is the Masked Singer better than the number one? And they go, we're not number one. We're number 2 in the world. Japan, we're number 1. But we're number 2. And she goes, yeah, I also sell my services to, in this time, especially today, to haunted houses. I made this haunted house because I kind of had the money to, and this is now a recreational building for the homeless that will come and help clean up this entire forest. And the Wild Wild Pussycats look at her and go, "What?" And she goes, "Yeah, all those padded rooms are actually going to be changed into homeless shelter rooms, and they will get paid in food for how much trash they pick up throughout the entire forest. And they're going to be trying to keep people safe and in line." And she goes, "This better all be coming out of your pocket because we don't have enough funds for that." And she goes, don't worry, they are. So we go to after the concert. I'll put a link in the description to this, to the playlist of songs that she's going to be singing in the deep raspy voice. Great artist. You guys should go subscribe to him and listen to some more of his stuff. I like these songs better than the rest of his stuff, but you may like other songs from him that are better. I have to also rename the playlist. Anyway, the villain attack doesn't happen because the force is still somewhat saturated with fear toxin. They get in, they see Karagiri, and they bolt. Muscular bolts and tries clawing out his last remaining eye because he's already been affected by fear toxin before. Severely. Kurgiri doesn't get affected because he's dead. And that's it. There's a little Halloween entertainment for you guys. I'll definitely be in the premiere chat this time. I accidentally messed up last time and I posted it at midnight for me. So, oops. Yeah, I was asleep at that time. I'm making up for it, okay? I'm making up for it in this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Talk to you guys later. Bye! I was in the premiere chat, so I'll probably have introduced myself. Bye!